learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watches coming into June 24th, 2020, and something is brewing in the stock market. We had a bunch of stuff today, literally probably like 5 or 10 different headlines. Rumors after the watch list, pre-market got walked back again, pre-market again, or futures to pre-market. It was crazy. We were down on the futures, shot up, ended up 300, closed only up 130, but there was a lot of different stuff and a lot of even different industries and stuff to look at. So we have a lot to talk about. Again, even moving forward, I'm getting my interest peaked here. It's a game of musical chairs. There was some news today, and just I reflected on it. I mean, this is still an interesting point coming into the end of the month, and I'd watch the end of the month. I'd watch the beginning of the month as well, too. We'll see what happens, but there's a lot of important stuff. So I got the plays for you. I got the keys, what we did today, and what I'm looking for tomorrow. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life, and yes, you could even meet your soulmate. Yes, that's facts. No, honestly, they really go crazy in the chat. It's like if I say like, hey, how old are you? And everybody does it. I don't know, but you could learn a lot of stuff. I love you, appreciate you. Thank you for watching and giving me a shot here. But please do not forget the most important thing you need to do. Post or watch this below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything. Post them below. We need to source that information. And once again, shout out Owen. One of those random plays on Microsoft is killing it. God bless you. Okay, having too much fun, but right off the bat, the first thing, like I said, a lot of news, no news, and then walkbacks, but we still got a small amount of news. Again, we talked about it today, why I'm observing it. I've explained it on these watch lists with like when you see the virus cases and the second wave and all of that stuff, that's important. And keep in mind that word second wave here, but if you guys have been following along with these watch lists, you've been watching the stream, again, we've been seeing these days. So we got similar movement today with what we saw last week. And again, even though the stress test, I'm going to talk about it, I don't think it's the most important thing. However, it just seems like something is brewing or the market's waiting on something or the stock market is really enjoying the summer. But I think it's the former. So watch out for that. But as far as today, to even get an idea, there was Pete Navarro, White House trade representative. He said the deal was canceled. Then he walked it back and said, well, no, it's not really canceled. And then market was down in the futures. Then it went up. And then Trump in the morning, he said that the trade deal is fully on, supported the walk back there. But then he commented on testing. He says too much testing. And then Fauci came on before Congress and he actually showed up. It wasn't a Zoom one. I thought that was kind of key, but he contradicts Trump and says, no, we haven't slowed down testing. And he kind of confused on that, but he then says that this is still the first wave. That part got me reflecting on that after hours. I mean, it's interesting to see, you know, the juxtaposition and how people are responding to that and whatnot, but that caught my attention. But then the next thing he said, and this explains some of the plays that we saw today and that I'm even going to want to look at tomorrow, but he starts to say that the vaccine, it seemed very, very dovish, very bullish on the vaccine. He said it's close, but why I'm saying it's dovish or even kind of better than expected, they were saying 18 months. Again, they were talking about this in February, March, and he said by 2021 we should, I think, and it sounded like the beginning of it. I don't know, but how he worded it came off pretty dovish, and we saw some of these vaccine stocks move, and they have been holding up from the very get-go. And even then, watching the market too, when I'm even looking at how the market's moving, either we're waiting for news or not, don't forget the stock market will move like a biotech, and we're kind of in the middle of that, so we just can't forget that. I'm kind of seeing glimpses of that, as well as news driven. Again, you see everything today, but that is not even it. And then throughout the day, China and India, we found out they're working on an agreement to de-escalate. It looks like they're chill. Munchkin said the second relief bill, he was talking about that, even extending the tax deadline. Then oil was bad after hours, and then real estate was better than expected throughout the day. You got even stuff from Kudlow. There was just a lot of different stuff, and now even after hours too, I'm going to watch it. It's going to have to do with Twitter, even what they're doing with that censorship stuff. So a lot of like old new issues are kind of mixing together with kind of some of this news you're seeing. Again, some stuff we've talked about over the days and weeks, but a lot of stuff happened. The market did nothing, but I'm getting this feeling that something's brewing. However, it's going to be hard to determine. We'll see the stress test and even towards the end of the month. But this is what happens when there's not really any new information, but there is a lot of talking and there's still a lot of digestion of the news. So welcome. And it is summer. But like I said, I think the market's more waiting for something because people are at home. We have the ability to trade. Again, everything's kind of open again with the floor and all that. But it doesn't seem like you're getting kind of the normal summer effect as more so than, I guess, apprehension, more or less from investors. But that is pretty much it. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're excited, but let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I have a few different plays that I'm looking at, and the ones that we did. We'll go over the plays that we did again, even for tomorrow. I didn't write it down here, but I'm going to be looking to make the banks. And this is why I didn't write them down, because I don't know the exact play. If they're not good, I'm not going to take them. I'm looking for something specific, but the stress test is going to be on Thursday. Remember, I got those puts. I try to get a little bit ahead on the Bank of Americas. I got those August puts on Bank of America. I'm down on them about 50% now. So now I know the puts are cheaper, but I don't think the calls went up. So if I want to make a move for the stress test, I want to see the call side, and I'm even looking at the put side. I am going to watch HSBC. I have that old play on the small account, but I think I found the loser that's going to happen through the stress test. Possibly they had news today, but they look dead, kind of like Deutsche Bank in 2015 through 2017 dead. It's pretty bad. So I'm going to be watching the banks in those companies. And again, with everything we saw today, we saw CODX and INO move. I'm going to be really watching those. So those are going to be the two plays. But like I'm saying, I'm not very specific on them just yet. So I'm watching and waiting. I want to see the prices for the banks, and I want to see if we see pharma stocks and vaccine stocks get kind of a second day, or if they kind of act biotech, big pop and then sell off, big pop, sell off, but then that takes time. So there's that. As far as everything else, I made two different plays today. The first one was TripAdvisor. So you see right here, we got this September. I like this play because there's a lot of time. I got 10 of the $30 calls at 42 cents. So I spent more money. Again, justified with the time and its call side. It gives me upside exposure. Sadly, I think upside is more surprising and more of the contrarian low-key in this market. Or I mean, honestly, it's even hard to say. I think everybody is pretty equal right now. God bless. But I think I had a little bit more bearish positions, if not, but it had time. And then there was a rumor. So the rumor was that they were going to, I guess, get a buyout from Booking, but it's unconfirmed, a little bit weird, but I'm going to look to play this play on the extrinsic value, buy the rumor, sell the news. It has time. Again, if I can make it free, I'll probably look to do that, but it went up. We doubled that play. I think they're at 80 cents now, so it's too late. Definitely, I wouldn't pay that much, especially with that amount of contracts that I bought. So I'm just going to be riding that out. I could make it free already, but we will see. It did pretty good, but I do think the upside is kind of limited on TripAdvisor, I believe. Yeah, they did good, but it's like, I mean, it's at 31, but we got the 30 calls. So we'll see. I mean, that is the 100-day high at the end of the day. But since 2019, I mean, I guess they got some upside. I mean, we could see. But I like the play. Has time. It was cheap. And then I got 5 Facebook calls. I grabbed these this morning. I got the September 330 calls. I got them at 75 cents. So I spent a little bit more money, but this was the same logic as yesterday. So we explained it, but pretty much I want time. I want it to cover earnings. That's in about 30 days or so, or 45 days, maybe a little longer, but I have it covered. But I want time for earnings. I get to play the all-time high breakouts at the 240, and then hopefully that mixer news will give it a little push above those all-time highs. We'll see, but I think it's kind of not as likely. But, I mean, you never know at this point. Again, I think that news was interesting. We talked about it on yesterday's watch list, but I grabbed these 330 calls. That's like $100 out of the money. Again, time, earnings, extrinsic type flip. I don't think these ones will get in the money. However, I think we'll be able to get good flips on them. Maybe TripAdvisor because it's a buyout, but you guys saw what happened with Grubhub. They're very hard to play. And remember, if it doesn't get bought out at that price, you will lose. So there's extrinsic now. If a deal comes in below, you're clapped. Again, Facebook, unless it has a crazy earnings and all that, to move $100, that's 30%. That's a lot of $1 billion in market cap. So understand the bread and butter of these plays and where you're going to be making them. But I'm going to be writing them out for some time, but now knowing how far they are at the money, unless the news could give me something better, though, I'm going to be scaling out accordingly like we do with most of every other play. But watch that. And then finally, that's pretty much it. I did make one more play. I did sell a put, actually. So we did a covered, I did an uncovered put, a Nate cash secured put on Facebook. Sold a July 225. Again, this is leading into their earnings. So this is the week before earnings. So I'm assuming it'll kind of stay up before then. It may have been safer if I sold the earnings one, but I don't know if I want to deal with that and if there's a premium run up. But I sold the July 225 put for 277. So I collected $277 in credit, and I agreed to sell somebody a 225 put. I shorted that contract. So technically, I'm agreeing to buy 100 shares of Facebook at 225. They paid me $277, and they're saying, hey, I'll give you this $300, and by July 17th, if you will give me the option to mandatorily sell you 100 shares of Facebook at $225 a share. Facebook is trading at $240. That sounds like a good deal to me, but the way I make money is if Facebook stays above $225 by that day. So that's what we've done before. So this was the play. I closed it shortly after. Remember, we did this with Netflix last week. I've been kind of showing you guys these premiums. So it started here on June 3rd. I did the same thing June 19th, 380 put, but for Netflix, I got $270. I agreed to buy Netflix at 380. They gave me $270 to make that deal with them and sell them that contract. Then a few days later, I think like a week or two, I think 8 days later, Netflix was shooting up. That contract is now worth $83. So I bought it back to close my obligation, collected pretty much like $200 profit, a little less, 190. And that was that first play. And then we waited a little bit. Where is it? Oh, yeah, I think I did it in between. We did the same thing on Twilio right here on June 10th, the day before I closed out the Netflix. I shorted the July 17th 170 on Twilio. Again, these are all the same plays. I'm just trying to show you guys so you could understand it. But got $300 for that, and then that is the play that I closed out today. I bought it back at 87 cents, so the difference between $87 and $300, I kept profit. I no longer have the obligation, get my buying power back. That's it. These are naked. If you don't understand selling spreads or naked puts, don't do it. This has a different risk involved when you are shorting contracts. So it's good, but that's why I said I wanted to show you guys this. You could watch my performance with these. I'm doing some trades on those, so observe them for a little. It's a really, really slow game, so you have time to observe. You're not really missing out on too much. But those were the final plays that I made today. Besides that, we had a killer play on Spotify. Again, it kept ripping, and this was pretty nuts. Again, you guys are seeing this is why I like those IPO breakouts. So hopefully not only is it all-time highs, even though we're waiting for that on Facebook, it's all-time highs and IPO, and it's relatively new and low float. So hopefully you guys see it. This is a very, very big move. So we low-key hit the money almost on those other contracts. So remember, we had those Spotify rollovers from last week. I sold out the Julys, but then we bought the next week's. We bought these at 80 cents. So remember, I had a few of them sold out. I had the final two, and then today it went up. And this is another, you could get the tip on this because this was a killer play. We sold out at 658. That was at 1127. So right above there at like right before it peaked out. And now why? This is what we did. Remember with that Boeing play, it's like at one point at this, we were right about to get into 260. We were about to be in the money. But the point with that play, at that point, the stock was already up, I think like 18% or something, or it was like already up $18. It was up at least 9%. It was up way too much. Where it's like I already got most of it. Even if it did go above 260, I've already captured most of that. So I sold out one. I'm still holding the other one, but that final contract, it expires Friday. It's only worth $1.50 or $1.90 right now. So we got a lot of the profit there, still holding that final one, but that was the final play. But like I said, the main things I'm going to look for tomorrow morning, even throughout the day, banks, we got the HSBC, so I'm not going to be sold on them unless they're a real discount, but I at least know Bank of America puts are cheaper. I still need to get the calls. Want to watch Wells Fargo. If anything, they're going to be one of the weaker banks, and like I said, the stress test is not really going to be too important unless they change the rules. That's what they did last time, and if that happens again, it could benefit the banks, or maybe there could be losers. Again, we do not know, and I'm waiting for kind of the market to tell us that, but I'm picking up on these clues. So that's how I'm kind of scaling in, determining if I'm going to take some of these risks. So I'm going to observe that tomorrow, the day before the stress test, and then we'll be able to see. So watch all those banks. JP Morgan, again, HSBC looks the weakest. I'm going to be looking at Shopify, but they're a little scary for me. Again, just too expensive, and then we've already, they keep going up. We've missed a lot of the move. So watch out for them. And then, like I said, UNH, I wanted this morning. They were cheap, and then it shot up. I think I'm just too late. I probably missed the boat again. But I'm going to watch all the vaccine healthcare stocks. I want to watch Guild. They're not holding up the best, and I think there was positive comments on them today. But in general, any of these vaccine-related stocks, another one, they went crazy today. Good volume, too. They've been holding up. AstraZeneca, I think they got a deal for, like, distribution. of the vaccine and stuff like that, but they were popping around. Volume was crazy, so I'm going to watch them, but the contracts were pretty expensive there. And then finally watch Tesla. They're at that $1,000 mark. I was considering selling premium on it, but I don't know. My contracts expired. I lost my $2,700, so I kind of want in. I don't know. I think I'm getting hooked to Tesla. I don't know. But I want to watch them. We'll see what happens. Again, that $1,000 level is pretty and big for them. So keep your eye on them. And finally, UUP, they're below the price I paid. That play has a lot of time, kind of till January. I mean, January is kind of right around the corner, but I'm waiting. Give it a week or two to kind of give me a look at it again. Otherwise, I'm going to forget about that play and ride it out. Again, this thing moves slow, and it is a theta demon. This thing is designed to just rob you with theta. So again, these are how these slow-moving assets will work. You can get a lot for cheap. You can make these big plays. These assets don't move. You're just paying to burn theta, but when they do pop, if anything happens, you get paid out a lot. So understand that. That's why I'm patient with this. Again, mix this into the grand scope of everything, and yeah, you get that idea. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need budgets balanced. I need you in the game. I need you pumped up, ready to go. I need you to not let this small thing get in the way of the bigger picture. It's so small, baby. Don't let it distract. It doesn't matter how much you worry. It won't add one more second to your life, baby. But I hope you're ready. I hope you're in the game. The code loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.